For business.
Watch those weapons.
What to do so little time?
Speak with me a moment.
Overseer, I'm glad you all made it out. With your expertise in the Queen's pheromone gland, we should be able to reopen the mine in...
Reopen the mine? After the Consortium left us to die? To sovereign God with this mine. You've got the Queen's gland, re-queen the mine yourself. We're leaving.
Ulfingar, please reconsider. Ulfingar? Friend, can you please talk to the Overseer? The people of Necrom will
If
starve without
Sindiath
this
had
mine.
wandered in here alone and gotten herself killed, how long before the Consortium sent another to find us? A day? A week? We're lucky someone of your mettle was nearby. You have my thanks, friend. Truly. It failed the moment those Consortium hawkers chose to ignore my letters. Does Sindiath really think a queen's gland and some elbow grease will be enough to put that place to rights? You saw what those cultists were doing. It's blighted. Finished. So it's my burden, then. Sure's bones. Those bastards are just greedy enough to risk it, aren't they? With a fresh queen's gland. Bah! No, we'd need an army of egg-hands, alchemists, a staffed garrison. The Consortium would never agree to it. Well, I guess we'll find out. Let me see this gland. And tell Sindiath we'll stay on if the Consortium provides all the staff and resources I need. The moment they hedge, I'm leaving. And taking Malsa and Barlek with me. Necrom be damned.
That sounded like it went well. Please tell me you have some good news. I really need something to soften the blow of this report to my superiors at the Consortium. Oh, trust me, I'll make sure the Consortium does what is right. To send an auditor in place of soldiers? Unbelievable. The safety of the people of Necrom is my highest priority. Take my thanks, and everything that I owe you.
Good. You can start by making sure the families of those lost in the mine are properly taken care of.
Of course. Honoring those lost is the first step towards making things right. The first of many.
you stand in the presence of Hermaeus Mora. We must converse. Laramil has done well, and brought fate's chosen into my unrelenting gaze. All other outcomes are now excluded. From this moment, fate's ever-branching tree begins to grow again, and with it, new possibilities emerge. It concerns beginnings and endings, secrets too dangerous to reveal, and the stability of the threads of fate. Hidden rivals threaten my realm, and thereby threaten all of reality. If they succeed, fate will unravel and doom both our worlds. am the golden eye of fate, and the keeper of whispers. Knowledge and memory are my domains. How this threat eludes me, I do not know. But you are the key to preserving Apocrypha. I have foreseen it, and in doing so, shall save the mortal realm. Lauriers guide you, as she can perceive the threads of fate without undue mental anguish. They converge in 3 locations, places of revelation. Meet her in the Necrom Bindery, in the mortal city of the same name. Now, let us seal our covenant. The 3 glyphics before you contain the concepts necessary to create a contract to bind us. I submit to this as a promise of cooperation. You may serve as my proxy without fear of harming your own interests. Now, take the glyphics, combine them. Do you know so little, mortal? Apocrypha is my domain, a plane of oblivion I have shaped to my needs. And this plane, the mortal realm, some refer to it as Nirn. As for the connection, just know that if Apocrypha falls, Nirn will cease to exist. The scholars and mystics of your world call me a Daedric prince. What you see is only an aspect of my true self, for the mortal mind cannot contain the whole of me. This form suffices. Your mind must remain intact for you to be of use to fate. Precious little. They are shadows that vanish under my scrutiny. Obscure figures that somehow hide from my gaze. It is disconcerting. Never have I been so blind. Every possible fate unfolds before me. They all lead to an event I thought erased from chance eons ago. If this course isn't altered, Apocrypha falls, reality unravels, and Nirn is destroyed. This enemy eludes me, but you are my secret advantage. That That is the reason fate chose you. Your instinctual ability to succeed no matter the obstacles placed before you, no matter the odds. Follow the threads I selected for Laramil. See where they lead. That is the key to saving both our realms. It is for your peace of mind, mortal. I offer to bind myself, to give you the power to constrain my actions, so that you may trust me. The contract also marks you as my proxy. That could prove beneficial in some places you must travel. Fate takes many paths, mortal. Find Laramil in Necron, and choose wisely.
She just threw me out. What am I going to do? Please? I have no one else I can turn to. I need help. I worked as a servant in the towers of Tel Drelloth. Nathan, the son of Mistress Drelloth, is being kept prisoner there. At least, I think he must be. Nathan and I had plans to leave Tel Drelloth together. Someone must have found out, because the day we planned to leave, I was dismissed from my position. Mistress Drelloth, or Suthiel, I suppose, pushed me out without a chance to see Nathan. If she's holding him against his will, he'll be in the isolation tower. The only access is through the lab in the caverns that run underneath. There's a key in the top floor of the main tower. Please, can you help me? I'll pay for your assistance. Thank the 8 you came along.
I had no idea how I would do this on my own. I know Cecile would just throw me out again, but Nathan is my whole world. I can't possibly leave Tel Dreloth without him. Certainly. You know, I say this with love, but Nathan's not a fighter. He's lived a sheltered life, and Cecile is a very skilled mage. But he wouldn't fight his mother anyway. Until he met me, he seemed content with heeding Cecile's every word. I wish I knew. If she were any other Telvanni master, I guess she didn't want her son settling for some low-born servant girl. But nothing like that ever seemed to matter to Cecile. She was far more focused on her research than her rank anyway. From what I understand, she's trying to cure the Nahatan flu. It took the life of her husband many years ago, when Nathan was just a baby. I'm sure that's why she's so protective of her son, but it's no way to let him live. I heard Cecile used to keep test subjects in the isolation tower. If she's keeping him anywhere, I imagine it has to be there. He spends most of his time on the balcony of the main tower, but he hasn't been out there at all since I left. Would it matter? Nathan deserves to make his own choices, regardless of his mother's wishes. And if she really felt that way, why wouldn't she just make her feelings known instead of throwing me out? I wasn't trying to steal him from her. I used to ask myself that question every day. It all happened so fast. I had a big family in Cropsford. We fled east from Cyrodiil when the Three Banners War began. By the time I made it here, I'd lost everyone. I was on my own. She gave me lodging and fair wages, too. She was kind to me, in her way. I used to think it was out of some goodness of her heart that she took me in. After she dismissed me, I was left wondering if she even has a heart. Very little, actually. It's not what she said, rather... While packing, I found a note in my belongings, signed by Nathan, full of hurtful things. Things I know he would never say to me. I'm certain of it. I know Nathan's handwriting, and more than that, I know his heart. He'd never say such cruel things to me. And the fact that Cecile made up those lies hurts me even more. As in how we met? It's a bit of a silly story. I have a habit of whistling while I work. Songs from back home to keep my mind busy. One day, when I was working in the garden, I heard it. Chords of Chim El Adabal, coming from the balcony above me. He'd never even heard it before. He learned it on the lute just from listening to me. He would play, and I began to sing again. It was like Nathan gave me my voice back. And I could think of home again in a way that felt like healing. Nathan started dropping notes for me in the garden. He folded them so beautifully to look like flowers. He'd make up excuses to send for me. We'd stay up all night talking or reading. It took a long time for either of us to admit our feelings. I did. I'd suggested that Cecile was being a little overprotective of him. We were almost arguing about it when I just admitted that I'd fallen in love with him. But I didn't know if I wanted to stay at Tel Dreloth forever like Cecile. Only recently. That was Nathan's idea. After losing my family, I sought safety and found it in Tel Dreloth. But over time, we both realized life is too short. Too precious to spend it stuck in just one place. We decided we wanted to see the world. They're not like the towers back home. But they're beautiful in their own way. Good. Nobody's noticed us so far. The key is in that chest. It's a spare for when the researchers misplace theirs. Got it? Let's speak for a moment. All right! We have the key. This is going better than I thought it would. And it's strange. Everything looks so different in here without the wards. Nathan's protective wards. You know, Sathiel's magic barriers that kept Nathan's half of the tower in isolation. I couldn't cross them at all. They certainly made tidying up a bit of a trial. I mentioned the wards. Sorry. I guess I've been here so long it's become normal to me. Sathiel said the outside world would kill Nathan, and she was working on a cure. But as far as I know, she and her husband were trying to cure. He died years ago, when Nathan was just a baby, from the disease they were trying to cure. Sathiel must be sheltering Nathan for fear of losing him, too. She's doing it out of love. We'll take the portal pad to the cellar. Then the key will get us into the labs. From there, it's just making our way through the caverns to the isolation tower. As long as we don't cross Sathiel, the others will be too busy to stop us. Good question. I've never known her to be particularly combative, but if Nathan's wards were any indication, she does wield very powerful magic. Which she may use to escort us out. Nathan's well-being is a family affair, and the researchers are far more focused on their work. They're tasked with observing their subjects for the slightest changes, so they won't keep their eyes on us for long, anyway. Test subjects for her experiments. Animals, as far as I know. Some of the experiments are rather grisly. I kept away from the lab for that exact reason. I've heard some of these Telvanni use slaves for such things. No, and that's exactly what worries me. She's tested no cures on him because there's nothing to cure. He's not sick. She just... I don't think I've ever seen it this empty down here. Where is everyone? Wait. What are these subjects doing out of containment? Why are they like this? What has Sithiel done to them? Look around. Maybe there's something here that explains what happened. What's that? It looks like a letter. What did you find? Anything that explains what's happened? Let me see. No, I'd never write such a thing. Did Cecile write this? Does she really think this sounds like me? What did the research notes say? Spores? The researchers spoke of those. Little seeds on the air, invisible to the eye like flu or fever. I think that's how molds and mushrooms make more of themselves. Delman spore sample. Delman. It sounds familiar. I just can't place where I've heard it before. She mentions these toxic spores interfering with wards. Does that mean Nathan's... No! The observation outpost! What happened? Where is everyone? Tunche? Thank the 8 you're all right.
Dacia. Straight. Spores nearly killed me. Barely exposed. Natural immunity. I will live. Heard shouting, then screaming. Everyone came running. Big mistake. Subject spores. Too strong. Mistress Dreloth. She coaxed him back to isolation. Delman, too strong. Stronger than I've ever seen. Delman, Mistress Dreloth's greatest experiment. The cure, the affliction. Delman did this.
I'm glad Tunche is all right, but he's just given us more questions than answers. I know he's one of her most trusted assistants, but if this Delman is one of Sathiel's experiments, how does Tunche not blame her for what happened here? I know, but... fetch it all! I just wish I could remember where I've heard it before. Delman. No, that's just the trouble. If Nathan had said or written it, I'd probably remember it exactly. Delman. It's on the tip of my tongue. Where did Tunche say Sathiel took the subject again? That must mean the isolation tower. Where Nathan is. Let's keep going. I don't know. The researchers too? Gods, what has she done? Wait, do you feel that? It's like we're being watched.
I've tolerated this incursion long enough. Whoever you are, you've fallen for Dacia's fanciful tale. And now you're enabling her dangerous obsession with my son. Nathan made his feelings for Dacia perfectly clear in the letter he wrote. Or was that vital piece of information kept from you? So what if I did? They both do well to believe it. They can never be together, do you hear me? Never! Leave this place! Forget all that you've seen, or you'll end up worse than Tunche. Delman? Where did you hear this name, Delman? Ah, I see. So your half-informed mind proves far more dangerous than an uninformed one. You cannot help. Leave this place, or I will do everything in my remaining power to stop you.
was her husband. That's right. I must have heard it from her once, long ago when she first brought me on. He died from the Nahatan flu. The thing she's trying to cure. I don't know. Has she gone mad? Was she always this way? If so, she's been hiding it, and I can't blame her. If she were carted off to Gorn, she'd be parted from Nathan. The thought of it... If you mean to heed Sithiel's words and leave, then I'll have to go on alone. Nathan is my whole world. I'm not leaving without him.
You cannot fight the danger that lies ahead. This is your last chance. Dacia, turn back, or you may never leave this tower again.
Dacia, stay back! I tried to escape, but she was right. My mother was right about everything.
Nathan, what are you talking about? We're here to rescue you. What does he mean his mother was right? She can't... What does he mean his mother...
Stay back from the ward. Mother says it's already in a weakened state due to the strength of my affliction. I don't recognize you, stranger. What are you doing with Dacia? Rescue? Then she really does love me? There was this note, you see. I was certain it was fake, but then I saw you and, well, I started to wonder. But I cannot leave. If you came through the caverns, you must have seen what I'm capable of. My father, yes. The affliction my mother gave me. She named it after him. I didn't know until I tried escaping. The wards were never for my protection. They kept others safe from me. If I had left with Dacia when we planned, she'd be dead. A living cure. A symbiote that protects its host with toxic spores. I would not be alive without it, and it would not thrive without me. All these years, she really has been trying to cure me so I might live a normal life. Why did I ever doubt?
So now you know the truth. I'd kept this secret from Nathan his whole life. That he might not grow up knowing he was a monster of my own making. That he might keep his will to live while I sought a cure. After all, I gave him the Nahatan flu and cured him of that too. Delmin and I were trying to save the world. A promising fungal spore sample was on its way from Black Marsh when Delmin caught the very thing we were trying to cure. And I lost him. I had to know if the spores would have saved him. And now I know. Nathan came from me. I am enough of him that the fungal symbiote does not register me as a separate entity, and therefore not a threat to its host. That is when I named it. Delman Mycota. The cure, like love, that would be with us always. The truth is a poor cure for love. I did not want Dacia to share my fate of being shackled to tell Dreloth by her own heartstrings. So I tried to drive her away. But since hers is a love that clearly cannot be cured, I have devised a choice for her. If Dacia is willing, I can safely inoculate her with the same spores I used on Nathan. She will share his affliction and his confinement. But they will be together, and she will want for nothing. Then she can make herself useful and help me find a cure. I'll hire her on again. I need someone dependable to procure rare ingredients to keep testing possible cures for Delman Mycota. Perhaps someday she can be one of my researchers. I've been studying Delman Mycota for over 20 years. If anyone can find a cure, it's me. I'm not about to abandon my life's most important work. There has to be something that can eradicate the fungus once it's disposed of the Nahatan flu. What does it matter if she and Nathan are able to live out their days together? I'd only prioritize curing her. But I am a researcher. I am not above recognizing the benefit of additional subjects with which to compare results. My researchers signed on with me because of my area of study. They knew the dangers of Delman Mycota as well as its potential. All that space in the labs was necessary for safe experimentation. I regret their loss, but they knew the risks. Or, if I had time to think of a more believable lie to tell the both of them. I knew they had been meeting for quite some time. When I overheard their plans to run away together, I had to act quickly, or else risk Dacia's certain death. Of course I did. I was glad for it at first. Dacia brought Nathan happiness. If only they could have remained content being in love, with the wards up between them. It was only when they doubted me that things got dangerous. And now, here we are. I suppose my research notes wouldn't give you the whole picture, would they? Toonshay, one of my most devoted researchers, discovered it in a pool of brackish water deep within Black Marsh. Its capture and transport was quite the undertaking. When bonded inside the lungs of its host, Delman Mycota passively produces spores toxic to almost all non-fungal life, as you saw in the caverns. It seems to eradicate anything that might threaten the life of its host, including the Nahatan flu. It is sensitive to smoke, a herald of fire, which causes it to release reproducing spores in anticipation of finding a new host. These are the spores we would use to inoculate Dacia, if that is what she chooses. Correct. Somehow, Delman Mycota recognizes itself, and of course doesn't see itself as a threat. Argonians like Toonshay are a different case, but only barely. Their natural resistance to toxins very nearly meets its match with Delman Mycota.
Nathan and I could finally be together. But the way to do so means becoming his mother's experiment. But I'd be safe, provided for. I'd get to dance and sing every day with the one I love. Some would kill for such a gentle life. Leaving for good is no option for me. My heart is Nathan's and his is mine. If I don't give up my freedom, I can help Sethiel find a cure. I'd get to see the world like I always wanted, but I'd be in her service. And I'd be alone. Life offers no guarantee of love either, but I found that, didn't I? I don't see it as giving up my freedom. I see it as a choice of how I get to show my love. But my heart is split. If you were in my place, which would you choose? If my freedom is the price of being with Nathan, then I'll pay it. To be with my love is better than having to wander the world alone.
You're staying? Truly? Are you sure, Dacia?
I fought this hard just to get to you, Nathan. Of course I'm staying.
You there! You look like a capable forager. I need some help. Can we talk? Thank the ancestors you stopped. Right. Well, I'm in a bit of a predicament here. I need to collect ingredients for a medicinal tincture, and I simply don't have time. I need someone to help. Ah, yes. I am Balver Bemis, retainer to Oathman Laro Rawless of House Telvanni. Laro suffers from beastly headaches, and I'm making a tincture to address his malady. I need some hard-to-attain ingredients. If you aid me, I'll pay you well. I need the musk gland of a bull netch. I spotted some netch remains around Kemmel Z. Also a plant called the volcanic stinkhorn from near Salem Mora. And lastly, fungal blooms from a dead shroom beetle. The best ones skitter around Tel Dreloth. Once you collect the ingredients, I'll make the necessary preparations at my workstation in Ald Isra. You know, getting the viscosity right and all that. Well, they're vital to the recipe. I don't want to bore you with the details, but the stinkhorn provides a binding catalyst, while the bullnetch musk gland balances the humors. They're very important. Yes, definitely. They provide a nutty, hay-like flavor. Covers up the bitterness of the brew, you see. He's a very demanding individual, even at the best of times. Commands with an iron fist, you know. And when these headaches strike, he is positively tyrannical. Yes, yes. I think it will address his malady fully. I mean, I hope so. He's terrible when he's like this. Well, they're vital to the recipe. I don't want to bore you.
Hands off, or I will gut you like the rest. What? Never seen an assassin get put out of work before? You're not one of these third-rate assassins, I can tell. But if you or anyone else puts a hand on me, I'm answering with my axes. I've been cutting down these mercenaries for the better part of the day. I'm guessing my target knows I'm on to her and has started sending them my way. My associate, Harn Orenvi, might know something about it, but I can't bring this heat to him. More like gather information, and if you're offering, I can pay you. Harn usually holds court at the Outlaw's Refuge. He'll be the only one there with bodyguards. Ask him if Raynilla Treveri's been through recently. Got it? Fair warning, Harn might ask you for a favor in return for information. I can pay you back, but you don't get paid until I get paid, and I don't get paid until I find Raynilla. Make sure you get something good. I'll find you after you're done. Well, make it quick, before more of those mercenaries decide to show up. I just can't figure out where I slipped up. Raynilla shouldn't know I was after her. My catches never do. Targets. Bounties. Got fishing on the mind, I suppose. I was planning a trip when I got put on this job. High priority, and the pay was nothing I could pass up. Lucky for the fish. I'm a mercenary, bounty hunter, assassin, whatever gets me paid. Raynilla stole something. Was told I'd know it when I saw it. Research notes to try and gain favor with some rival Telvanni magister, maybe. Tale as old as time in these parts. I think so. I don't know. I was handed the job by my job broker. He let slip that Raynilla used to work for the client, but I didn't stick around to hear much else. It is a time-sensitive job, and I was told to stop Raynilla at any cost. Thought it'd be better to get on her trail sooner rather than later. I don't need to know all the fancy details and motivations. I just need to know enough to get paid. He's one of Necrom's only crime lords, big fish in a small pond, and he knows everybody, so I am certain he knows Raynilla. I've worked for him before. We're not on bad terms, but I wouldn't go to him if I had any other choice. He's chatty, too friendly for my taste, lures people in just so he can get them under his thumb and in his debt. Last time we did business, we didn't see eye to eye on something. Let's leave it at that. And listen, don't mention me to Harn. It probably won't do you any favors.
Funny how nobles who win against me in games of chance end up gifting me with their wins. Not willingly or knowingly, of course.
Only the finest goods for my ancestors.
I can't be here all day.
wagon isn't going anywhere for now. I guess we should set up shop here.
Eyes open and your mouth shut. Something has to happen around here. Anything. The market smells good today. Your eyes open and your mouth shut. Can't wait here all day.
Have you seen the note? If you seek companions for your adventuring, look no further. This one can help with that. Ah, of course. These listings are where other adventurers, much like yourself, can declare their interest. Those of a similar proclivity can join up together and form guilds. Take a look. This one is sure a group suited to your needs awaits you. Have you had the chance to review the guild listings? Wonderful! This one hopes you found something that interests you. Too often, this harsh world becomes isolating. Finding companions can make it bearable, This one is quite pleased you stopped by, and hopes that you find a guild that appeals to you.
Welcome to my safe house, Proxy. Meeting Hermaeus Mora represents a rare honor. The one who knows materializes in a delimited projection. He chooses to manifest before few mortals. The threads upon which reality dangles are precarious indeed. What did Mora impart to you? And so I shall. The one who knows traced 3 crucial events to this area. Investigate each, and he believes we can expose the conspirators moving against Apocrypha. We may even stop them before the ultimate threat takes shape. I do not know. I was only presented with what was required to bring you to the right place at the right moment. You must determine why fate needs you in each location, then take the appropriate action. Many possible futures branch from every mortal choice. If we know the consequences of our choices, it changes the outcome. Therefore, Hermaeus Mora tells us only what he must. As fate's chosen, the rest is up to you. The threads of fate lead to 3 locations in this region. The necropolis of Necrom, the old tower of Tel Rendis, and the town of Alavelis. I shall open a portal to each, investigate them, and return here to the Necrom bindery when you are done. A reasonable and prudent request. I shall provide what details I can, but I know little more than you do. Local history and politics are not my usual area of study. Which location would you like to know more about? Necrom serves as a center for the ancient Dunmer practice of ancestor worship, a strange custom. The monks of the necropolis, called the Keepers of the Dead, tend the catacombs beneath the city. They guide the faithful in venerating their forebears. Tel Rendis is one of the many mushroom towers that dot this land. They usually serve as domiciles of Telvanni wizards who wield formidable magic. But this tower is abandoned. Interesting. Fate dictates that when you go there, I shall accompany you. Alavelis is a minor settlement whose only claim to fame is its malachite quarry, a glass mine, as the Dunmer refer to it. That thread of fate vibrates with particular intensity. What you shall find there, I cannot say, but I urge caution, Proxy. An old bookbinder's shop, our temporary base of operations in this region. I secured it so we could travel to and from Apocrypha without causing undue panic. I doubt Necrom's authorities would approve of portals to an Oblivion realm in their city. In addition to the 3 to take you to the locations you must investigate, I summoned 2 gateways to Apocrypha. One leads to the Endless Library, a place of books as numberless as the stars. The other to Chroma Incognito, where lost fates linger. Only if you desire to do so. The threads of fate Hermaeus Mora asks you to investigate begin here in the Telvanni Peninsula. Where they shall lead us, I cannot say. But with the threat directed at Apocrypha, I thought quick access was prudent. Your choice must be your own, Proxy. Hermaeus Mora was clear about that. There. 3 paths are now arrayed before you. Which will you pick?
There's always more to do.
Quality and variety, conceive for yourself.
A good spot. Until a guard comes along and asks to see a person.
These, Han, they're not just flowers, they're...
Surely a man of your talents can grow more. Now, move. Others wait in need of my counsel. Your face isn't familiar to me, but I'd know that look anywhere. You want something from me. Information, probably. Raynilla Treveri. Really? I may know something about her. Perhaps you can enlighten me on why it is you're seeking her.